8 weeks into my computer science degree, and here's what I've learned. During the next 10 minutes, I will give you a big picture overview of my semester so far. So stay around if you are interested by EPFL, a CS degree, or even if you are just curious of what university level looks like. So I will quickly introduce you the 5 subjects that I have as a CS student and why those subjects are part of a CS course. So first I have AICC, Advanced Information Computing and Communication. In this course we learn all the we are exposed to a lot of tools that help us in computer science. I will tell them later what they are. Then we have Intro to Programming. We learn how to code basically. The third subject is Linear Algebra. Linear Algebra is there because with Linear Algebra you can compute a lot of things and make some computation work. Yes. Then Physics. We have physics because it's in introduction to some math tools as well as because we live in the world, right? Then analysis, because functions can model how the world works. So if you are good at analysis, you can model problem and solve it. And yeah, that's it. That's all the 5 subjects I have. So first for AICC, first we did some logic. So defining the truth value of a statement. Then we had some introductions to proofs and how to prove things, like some 8 methods to prove things. The most powerful in computer science is by far induction. Then we had a quick introduction on sets, relation, and functions. We moved on with sequences and series, power sums, and modeling. So these were because now we are talking about algorithm. We had some examples of searching, sorting, and matching algorithm, and we are talking about their complexity. And in their complexity, sequences and series are really useful. For the second subject, so intro to programming, basically we learn how to code in Java. First we had procedural, then oriented object programming. At the end of procedural, we had a first mini project. It was a cryptography and stenography mini project. We had to code an algorithm to hide messages and also to hide messages into images and images into images. This was really nice, and we can do quite a lot with procedural only. And then we will have a second mini project. Currently it's the introduction, where we will be creating a video game like Pokemon, a simple video game. Then third subject, linear algebra. So first we learned how to solve linear system with Gaussian eliminations to reach reduced echelon form matrices. Then we had an introduction to linear maps and what is linearity. We also learned some matrix operations, additions, multiplications, biscalar multiplications of matrix. Then we moved on with invertibility of linear maps and the determinants. What is the determinant? And currently we are working on vector spaces, so subspaces, bases, isomorphism, change of basis. It's mostly things that you already do in gymnasium. Let's move on now to the fourth subject, so physics. We started with the basics, with kinetic and Newton laws. Then we talked a bit about coordinate systems like cylindric coordinates, polar coordinates, Cartesian ones. Then we had a little introduction on harmonic movements. We talked about forces, work, mechanic energy, equilibrium, and then we talked about some rotations with kinetic momentum, and currently we are working on change of referential with accelerated referential. And finally, the fifth subject, analysis. We started with the basics. We defined what is error. In the definition of error, We talked about density, bounds, infimums, supremums. Then we had an introductions on C, complex numbers, their representations, and also solving equations with complex number. Then we moved on with sequences, the convergence of sequences, limits, recursive sequences, subsequences, which then allowed us to talk about series. We were exposed to a lot of criteria to define if series are convergent or not, like comparison criteria, Leibniz criteria, D'Alembert, and so on. And now we are working on functions, the limit of functions, and also continuity. So all in all, the thing I realized with those 8 weeks is when you get better at one subject, you automatically get better at the others. And that's because engineering at its core isn't about memorizing facts, it's about building methodologies to solve problems. And once you develop that mindset, you can apply it everywhere.